Nazi Germany. The defeat of Nazi Germany was primarily done by the Soviet army, but it cost 27.5 million Soviet citizens. So how could Gorbachev go home in 1990 and say, guys, Germany's reunited, great, and it's going to be in NATO? It was impossible. So they told Gorbachev, we promise that if you agree to a reunited Germany and NATO, NATO would not move, this was Secretary of State Jim Baker's formulation, 1 inch, or maybe he said 2 inches, 1 inch to the east. In other words, NATO would not move from Germany eastward toward Russia. And it did. As we speak today, NATO's all along Russia's borders, from the Baltics to Ukraine to the former Soviet Republic of Georgia. So what happened? Later they said Gorbachev lied or he misunderstood. That promise was never made. But there's an archive called the National Security Archive in Washington that has now produced all the documents of the discussion of 1990. And it was not only Bush, it was the French leader Mitterrand, it was Margaret Thatcher of England. Every Western leader promised Gorbachev NATO would not move eastward. So what do you end up with today? What Russians call предательство, betrayal. Yeah. And any discussion about American-Russian relations today, an informed Russian is going to say, we worry you'll betray us again.
Well, you quote Putin in here talking about how we had illusions, you know.
He had illusions.
He had illusions.
And how often have you ever heard a national leader say publicly, I had illusions?
About working with
Or
us.
about anything. Leaders don't have illusions. They're immaculate, right? But Putin said he had illusions about the West when he came to power.
I want to talk.
He lost them.
I want to talk about. You make the case that if we don't recover the institutions of diplomacy, the mechanisms of détente, this could go from a Cold War to a hot war.
Look, what I am arguing and trying to explain in this book is in no way pro-Russian or pro-Putin. It's not pro-American either. It's pro-avoid a catastrophe.
Right.
That's what this is about. That's why I say war with Russia, question mark. I never have written a book or published commentaries, and I have 3 volumes of commentaries, with such concern and alarm that war with Russia was actually possible. So it could happen accidentally. It could be by intention. But let me mention one thing, because for some reason the media doesn't even cover it. Beginning in 2002, the second Bush left the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty, right? The ABM Treaty.
Right.
That was a very important treaty because it prevented the deployment of missile defense. Missile defense, then,